Welcome back to SpeakPact. We are so thrilled to have you here with us today. You are in for a treat. We've got Tara Lafon Gooch with us, and she is a former corporate sales director. She is a branding and marketing expert, and she brings a lot to the table. She took some things that she was really passionate about and has really carved out a space for her as a speaker. She's in demand. She's getting those engagements we all would love to get on a regular basis, consistent basis. And she's going to really just share her journey with us on how she got from here to there and where she's going from here. Right. And so, welcome, Tara. Thank you for being with us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be on the show today.
Yeah, so our SpeakPact audience are high achievers who are scaling either their business or their speaking career with obviously the power of their voice. You come from a corporate background, right? And you come from a place of branding and marketing. What was that? What was that bridge that brought you to, hey, I think my voice might have some value here?
Wow, it's such a good question because I think so many people are on this journey right now, right? Maybe they're leaving corporate, maybe they just got laid off or, something like that from their current jobs, or maybe they've been working in a job for a long time. They're searching for fulfillment. They're searching to show people who they really are. And that's kind of how it was for me. So in 2022, in March of 2022, I decided, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself. Now, I came from corporate. That's what I did, right? And my husband and I, at the time, we had started our business during COVID, but at the time it was more of a side hustle, right? And things like that. And it wasn't until I said to myself, all right, we're going to
Well,
try this. We're going to do something big. We're going to take a leap, right? That I started sharing my story. And I realized as a business owner, one of the best ways to get people to connect with you, to understand you, to want to do business with you is if you bridge your conversations through a lens of authentic storytelling.
mhm.
And it was really powerful and transformative for me because the first time I shared any part of my story really was on stage. And it blew the audience away. And it was at that moment I realized the power of storytelling in business, in brand building, in marketing, but also, more importantly, human connection.
Human connection. Oh gosh, so important in the age of, yeah, AI is powerful and it's going to go that way, right? It's not going anywhere. It's going to only grow, but human connection can never be lost. It's always going to be play an equally, if not more, valuable spot in corporations, business growth, right? And even our own world. So I love that you brought that piece in. Tell me a little bit. Okay, so you are out there helping people position themselves, and I see that you're doing it in an in the confines of an ecosystem through podcasting, I would assume, maybe even
Mm-hmm.
podcasting,
Yep.
through branding, through buying advertising, and through speaking. Why is this recipe? Where did you come up with this recipe?
Yes. It's the perfect holistic system, right? One of the things that I realized as an entrepreneur as I was building my brand was that one part just did not work, right? So when I first started building my brand, my journey, it was primarily on LinkedIn, on social media. But then I started realizing that algorithms changed every couple of months and you had to equip yourself and adjust. And it started to feel a little bit like a hamster wheel, right? And I think a lot of people can relate to that. So I started building my brand in other avenues as well. So PR appearances, SEO, podcasting, both having my own podcast and being a guest on others, as well as collaborative articles, things like that, newsletters, writing my book, speaking on stage. And you do this with enough consistency and enough volume over time, and it builds this digitization of our personal brands online that makes it so simple for someone finding you for the first time to understand who you are, who you serve, how you can help them, and ultimately what results you can also provide for them, right? And this is really important as you call it a recipe, because this is what's needed in this modern age, is this thought leadership. And it's not just appearing in one place or another. It's about how can I have my brand be seen with as great reach as possible, with as much visibility as possible. But it's not just that. It's about with as much respect and reputation building
Mm,
as possible.
mm, yeah.
Because you want to be seen as a thought leader. You want to be seen as somebody that's changing lives, not just your own, but other people as well, right? And this is why speaking is incorporated in that, because the best way, right, to emotionally connect with your audience is through speaking, through the power of the word, through the power of storytelling. But it's also the most effective. Why? Because it's a one to many approach. It's a one to many approach, right? You're not one to one. This is a one to many. And ultimately, we never know who's in the audience. We never know who's going to be listening to our things. And we just don't know who it could impact and touch. So, this is why we need to be in a couple of different places at one time. And it seems hard, but it's one of those things you just slowly build up and graduate as you go. And it really makes an impact.
Well, obviously, I mean, you're approaching 35,000 followers on LinkedIn alone and that's multiplied in other places. So you're walking your talk, number one, and you're striking a chord, right? People wouldn't follow you if you weren't speaking in a way that is helping them move the dial in the area of your service space, right? So um, I always utilize this analogy. But if I'm going to go to a doctor and he's obese and his skin is blotchy and he just is not the picture of health, right? I'm going to be a lot less likely to take his advice on how to get healthy. Same with promoting yourself and positioning yourself, right? You have proven your process in your own world. So I would be much more likely to turn to you for advice than somebody who's got maybe 500 followers telling me how to
Right.
and that's not the one indicator, but it certainly is an important indicator. And I love that you brought up that there really is no one silver bullet, right? We all want that. Just give me that one button to press, right? Give me that one agent or that one um, thing, right, that will make all the difference. But you somehow in your own journey recognized that it's a combination of things. You said that. You said it's volume, so you said that,
Yeah.
and it's consistency. So it's consistent, multifaceted volume. We just made that up together.
I like it. It's great math. We'll take
Yeah.
it.
And it's so important. I see it in speakers wanting to scale their careers, right? They just want to find that one agent. And I am an agent, so I'm kind of talking against myself right now. Or just that one bureau or the one, connection, whatever, that's just kind of gonna make make all their dreams come true. And that didn't happen for Tony Robbins. It's not going to happen for you. Right? It's a combination of things. It's a lot of elbow grease. Even when you do have an agent or bureau or coach consultant working by your side, and you'll never arrive. Right? It's just a
Yeah.
commitment to be consistent and to really continually get that volume out there. So I love that you brought that to the table. Another thing you brought to the table is being findable. You said it in
Yes.
your own words, but you don't want to be the best kept secret, right? So how do you position yourself to be findable? What are some of your top strategies and even platforms? Because I know you're really active on LinkedIn. Is that concerted? Like, is that for a specific reason? How do emerging speakers get themselves positioned so that they are readily findable?
Absolutely. Yeah. Some people are really good at one platform, some people are really good at a couple, right? Start, we all start somewhere though. I think that's pretty important because it's really easy to look at somebody like Tony Robbins or Gary Vee and say, okay, their advice says I need to be on all imaginable platforms, full charge. That's absolutely sure, but you know what? It could literally kill you in the process, my friend. So I would say find one platform maybe you're already familiar with, especially if you're just starting out. Dial that in. Start producing really valuable content, thought leadership content, not necessarily sharing other people's quotes. Why don't you start sharing your own, right?
Hmm.
Start giving your own thoughts out there and stop quoting other people. Okay, so if we can get to step one, which is creating original thought leadership on one platform, that will grow. Okay, and then once you feel like you can graduate, get another platform. And the reason I'm really active on LinkedIn is because I do own a branding and marketing business. And a lot of our customers are, from LinkedIn. But I also get a lot of our guest appearances on LinkedIn. So I've created LinkedIn as my main platform for business, but it's also a place where I've built a community. Now that took time. That was not flipping a switch and I have a community that knows, likes, and trusts me and wants to do business with me. That was over a period of several months or a year or two of nurturing and building reputations and relationships with reputable people in their industries that can move the needle for me and I respectively move the needle for them. So, my advice is to find those platforms that make sense. If you're a speaker, though, I would say LinkedIn is going to be a really good place for you, LinkedIn and YouTube, because LinkedIn is a good place for you to show up on SEO, search engines, especially, right? It helps because when you Google somebody's name, you're going to find their LinkedIn profile. So you really want to make sure it looks good, right? And that it's clear and easy to identify what you do, who you serve, and how you help. So get a LinkedIn profile because it is Google searchable, but you also probably want a presence on YouTube because guess what? YouTube is also a search engine.
Right. It's the
So,
second largest search engine in the world,
exactly.
owned by the first largest search engine in the world. The first
Exactly.
one you've got to pay for. The second one, you got to pay for with your time and energy. But yeah, you're pretty much um, getting the value of paying for a space on Google, right? Just
Yep.
by having a YouTube channel. Yeah, I
That's right.
agree.
Yep. So think search engine and less social media. And if you
Mm,
think search engine in the beginning, it's gonna, I feel like, take you a little bit farther than it would if you're not, right? So think search engine. And again, when somebody Googles, if you Googled my name right now, Tara Lafon Gooch, you're gonna see my LinkedIn profile. That's gonna be a search result. You're gonna see PR. You're gonna see a couple other things, right? But the LinkedIn is gonna be on that first page. And this is what I like to tell people that want to be findable, that want to be more visible. Even if you get to a certain place in a conversation with somebody, they're eventually going to look further and dig a little deeper into you. And this is why it's important to have really reputable looking and well branded profiles online. This
mm,
is why it's important to create thought leadership posts because when somebody clicks on your profile, they're going to either see someone of value or somebody that I don't understand the value.
yeah.
And if our end person looking at our profiles does not understand value, why would they connect?
Yes.
Right? So the look is important, the feel of it, the copywriting is important, and then the content that we produce is important. right? Because they're going to then look at our content. So all of these things are important to as a good foundational level to start building your brand. But the
Yes. Let me ask
interesting
you
thing is,
this. How
mhm,
important is this? Because I deal with this with my speakers every single time as they're coming in. And I'll notice they're utilizing different profile photos for all the different profiles, right? Instead of one
mm,
signature look and feel and one signature profile picture. It doesn't have to be the same exact picture, but it has to have the same colors, the look, and the feel. I think that Stu McLaren is brilliant at this, right? Almost all of his pictures, he's making a really goofy face, but you come to know that's Stu McLaren. Like there's no question, right? I don't want to go to one of your social networks and saying, I think that's Tara. Is that Tara? That's who I'm looking for. I think that's the same Tara, right? It has to be like so feel so the same that there's no question there. Continuity between all of your different all the different places that you show up online, whether it's your
yes,
website, socials, right, or um, even bureaus, wherever it is that you're. I feel like there should be no question that that's the same person. I rarely wear red, but in my signature picture, because one of my signature colors is red, I wore a red picture. And, you might think, oh gosh, is anybody getting tired of that picture by now? Right. But there's not going to be any question that, oh, yeah, I'm relating some other experience to this is that same person. Tell me a little bit about your philosophy, your strategy behind that.
absolutely. I say to speakers all the time, think less like a speaker, more like a business, right?
Mm,
And how would an event organizer or meeting planner who's never heard of you before? So, again, somebody that's never heard of you before, because we encounter event planners and meeting organizers, and most of them have not met us before. So they're looking at us online. And it's very similar to how you would look up a job candidate if you were hiring for a job position. You would look at their social media profiles and you would look for continuity. You would look for professionalism, respectability. Um, and you're correct. You wouldn't want to look at one profile here and see a completely different image and copywriting and message than you would in another profile. Again, if we cause confusion in anyone's mind, it's going to lead into a miss.
mm,
I've never seen it hit a surefire target if we have this confusion. So it's important to have that message, that continuity. But you know what is also important? This proof of performance. I want to hit on that a little bit because I see a lot of speakers really, really, really miss the mark on this. Again, when an event organizer, when a meeting planner is looking at us online, they are looking for proof of performance. They
mm,
want to see pictures of you on stage. They want to see videos of you doing the thing you say you do.
mhm.
They want to see the audience captivated. They want to see the results. They want to see testimonials.
Yeah.
They want to see maybe audience testimonials, maybe other event organizers or meeting planner testimonials. They want to see testimonials of you doing the thing you say you do. Because ultimately that's what's going to lead into that surefire conversation with somebody when we have all these things lined up, when we have a personal brand established online, when we have congruency in our messaging and with our image, and then you couple that with proof of performance and some social proof, now all of a sudden you go from somebody that's overlooked to somebody who is a natural choice.
Mm. Okay, that was brilliance right there for sure. Because it's most organizers don't care about saving money on the budget. They care about
Right.
job preservation, right? That just
Yes.
securing their position. And
Yes.
they need to know you are a surefire choice, right? You are the obvious natural choice. I love the way you said that. You're a sure bet that um, they're going to look like a hero for bringing you in. That's what they care about. A lot of
Yes.
speakers will focus on their pricing or the things that the average organizer is not as concerned about. They have to stay within budget, but that's that's just something they have to do, right? To really secure their job, they need to be a superhero for picking you for their stages.
Absolutely. And I will say this, I had an organizer tell me once that keynote speakers are a liability until proven otherwise.
Ooh, that's a really good quote. I'm gonna mark that for a quote. That was really good.
Yes.
So
And it is
say
so
that one
true.
more time. Just want to gloss over that.
Speakers are a liability until proven otherwise.
Wow.
And it's so true. And this is why I'm so passionate about helping people, because they don't, this is exactly what goes through a keynote speaker's mind. And it doesn't matter how accomplished they are or smart they are. They think in order to get somebody's attention, they need to slash prices. But that's actually diminishing your brand when you do that. And it diminishes your reputation. And it signifies to the other person that you're not the person for this role. So the answer is not to slash prices. The answer is to build your brand and increase your reputation so that you are that natural choice, because you are a liability. It is a fact, 100% fact. You are a liability until otherwise proven. So make that person feel very, very, very good about making a hiring decision to bring you on, because ultimately it is that person's reputation that's on the line. And that's what they care about at the end of the day.
That is a very strong and vitally important
Yes.
topic that you just brought up. Let's say there's a corporate engagement, right? And there's three speakers that have been kind of narrowed down. Um, the organizer knows maybe their budget's $10,000. There's a speaker that comes at $5,000. There's a speaker that comes in at $10,000, and there's a speaker that comes in at $15,000. They're going to throw out the $5,000 guy. You would think it's just like they're going to hire me because I'm the lowest. No, they cannot risk their job on somebody who may not be as down the road as the other ones are. So that guy's out. She's going to put the 10,000 guy or gal on hold, and she's going to try to get that $15,000 guy to come down to her budget, because then she's a hero. She or he's a hero for getting more established. Just human nature. It's just how people
Yep.
think. More established speaker within their budget, right?
Yep.
And then if they say no, then they'll go to the $10,000 person. It's just how it works out there, at least on the corporate side. And corporations have the bigger pockets and the more frequent opportunities. So if you're not speaking for corporate, make sure that you add corporate training into your business model. But I love that you brought that up, Tara, because that's opposite of what speakers come in thinking. Right? They think, I don't want to price myself out. No, you don't want to price yourself out. But one thing that you can do, set your price, because you're setting your brand, right? You're branding yourself with every single, right? With every single engagement, you're branding yourself. You could always negotiate down, and then you've got some reciprocity there to play around with other things that they can bring to the table that might even be more valuable than the rest of that check. But you're not doing yourself any favors if you are slashing your prices. Like, that's absolutely like the opposite way of getting those better engagements.
Exactly, exactly. And you're not doing yourself any favors. And this is how people give up on speaking, because it's really easy to give up.
Yeah.
And you give up on speaking by diminishing your own self worth first, by agreeing to things that don't serve you, and by not aligning yourself with things that do. And if you do that long enough, you're going to think speaking is not for me. I don't deserve this. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe Tony Robbins should just steal the show forever, right? Well, that's not true, because I know, I don't think I know. There's a lot of really good people out there with powerful stories and techniques and methods that can actually really change the world. The problem is not the lack of capabilities out there, because I think there's a lot of really smart, talented speakers. I think it's a lack of just basic knowledge and sometimes self esteem that keeps speakers going down and keep dipping themselves down. And eventually it leads into that whole conversation of, I just don't think I can make it.
Yes. Oh, I love that you said that because it's a heartbreak to me.
Mm,
I have a backstory of why I'm even in this space and why I feel like it's so important that our voices get out there and why I'm my focus is on those emerging voices, not necessarily the established voices already, although I deal with them a lot. My heart and my passion is behind those emerging voices because those are solutions and answers that people lay awake at night wanting, right? And
yeah.
if you're the best kept secret, then they never get to get that. So if you're going about it wrong, you are more likely not to really make it and scale. And that's a pity. That's a tragedy because all of those solutions and that curated knowledge that you have to bring forth doesn't get done. Nobody else can fill your shoes. So I absolutely love that you said that. When you diminish your value, you're diminishing your chances of being valued and
Yes.
increasing the chance that you're just going to wind up giving up. That was so well said. Thank you, Tara.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
There was a quote, Grant Cardone in his book, The 10X Rule. He says that, and this changed my perspective on visibility as well and branding yourself. In the book, he says that the best known does not, or pardon me, the best does not win, right? Our whole lives we're kind of told to be the best. You got to be on top, be the best. But it's actually be the best known,
Mm,
because you could be the best speaker. And I think, again, there's plenty of very talented folks out there. It's not about being the best, it's about being the best known and being accessible and being able to be found. If we're looking on Google and it's event organizers and meeting planners that have never heard of us before, if you're not known, why would they hire you? Because again, it's a liability until otherwise proven.
yeah, they're not going to gamble on a maybe. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Why would they? Would you?
No.
No, I sure wouldn't. I sure wouldn't hire somebody that I thought half warm, lukewarm feelings about. I want to hire somebody that I feel hot feelings for. I'm like, let's get started.
Yes.
Same thing here, folks. It's the same exact principle, just a different situation.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, in that positioning piece, right, many speakers have either a book or some sort of other service that they offer. So, yes, they get those amazing keynote checks, but what's even more amazing are those premium clients that come from those audiences and the whole
Yeah.
referral system that begins happening, staying top of mind, all of that in your full picture that you've been describing today, Tara. I know it depends on what industry you're on, what focus you're on. But I'm kind of asking this for myself because I've been toying with the notion is we all know about meta advertising and the mess that can be and the greatness that can be, right, done right. What are your thoughts on LinkedIn advertising since this is your space?
Ooh, I love that. Our agency does do meta advertising, so I'm not going to bash advertising because we do run meta ads and we Google ads as well. LinkedIn ads, I will say this, I've grown my brand to almost 35,000 followers on LinkedIn. I've never paid for LinkedIn advertising. I think it's
Hmm.
a little overpriced.
Well,
So I've never paid for LinkedIn advertising, but what I do pay for is LinkedIn Sales Navigator.
hmm.
I pay for that, and I'm a very loyal, and nobody's paying me to say this. I do really enjoy LinkedIn Sales Navigator because it helps you filter out your exact target clients. And this is why it's really important for meeting planners as well, for speakers. You can filter through titles and find people that fit the description of meeting planner, event organizer. You can filter company size to get in front of people that are large decision makers, i.e., corporate professionals hiring for speakers and programs. And you can do all of these filters and actually get a list of your exact target client to reach out to for these exact same things. And there, a lot of them are on LinkedIn. So, connect up with them, start conversations with them. Again, don't, use the filters so that you're making sure you're getting in front of those exact right people with the budgets that can afford your services. So be smart with it through filters and start adding these people to your network and connecting with them. And then if you pair that with your organic content that we're talking about, and maybe you have a podcast, well, they're going to see you as the person that provides the solution that they're looking for, and they're going to hire you. So I actually don't recommend LinkedIn advertising for the average person. I recommend connecting up with the network and producing organic content.
Mm.
And then why not email? Right? So then getting them on an email list so that they're pulled into your ecosystem away from social media. That's pretty powerful.
Yes. Ah, love it. Okay. Many speakers also have their own events, right? Whether it's workshops, a remote event, an on location retreat or event. What are maybe the top three ways that you would recommend as a marketing and branding expert on how they can get quality attendees to register, like how they can fill those events?
Yes, so important. I love virtual events. Love them, love them. I do at least one a month
No, wow.
where I pull in an expert from my network, somebody that I thoroughly trust, and we do an event together, or I host my own event. And again, using LinkedIn Sales Navigator to pull out those specific filters. Because if you can filter by company size and title, you're working with a decision maker at that point. Those are the people you invite for free to your events. You invite for free, you display value, you teach, thoroughly teach, not fluffy tips, not generalist advice, but I mean change someone's life right then. They're going to see you as somebody that can do this again and somebody that can replicate this again. And then after the event, have a conversation with everyone who attended the event and send out a personalized message and ask them if they would like more of this, but for their team.
Mm,
And maybe you find somebody that attended the event and they're really into this. Then what you do is you start a conversation with them, you have a Zoom call, and after the Zoom call, you say, "May I have your address, please? I'd like to send you a copy of my book."
mm,
When in doubt, value over everything.
value
And
over
if you
everything.
pour in value to the right people, value an extreme value, because this is not a business card, right? This is something that it acts like a business card. It's got my contact information in here, it's got my full life story, it's going to help you live a better life. But I'm asking for nothing in return. I just want to add value to you first. And you do that with the right people who can really move the needle for you in your business, you would be amazed at the opportunities that come to you. I will give one example. I actually have something here that I use. It's very simple. It's a 5x7 flyer. I made it on Canva. Very simple. On the inside of the flyer is a note with that person's name and a story that is pertinent to them and their business. So this is going out to the CEO of Maybelline Cosmetics.
Mm,
Why Maybelline Cosmetics? Because I wear their color red, and my book's on confidence, and red lipstick makes me feel confident. I want her to know this when she gets the book. What's the open rate going to be? It's going to be pretty close to 100%.
that is fabulous. I was on a podcast not long ago, and the organizer of that podcast sent me a mouse pad that had my image on it. Like it was just like,
Oh,
wow, that
wow.
was
That's
really cool. I
so
wasn't
cool.
expecting it. He didn't ask for anything in return, but I'm sure remembering him, right? Because it has his logo and stuff on there too. But I'm sure remembering that really stuck in my mind. We do a lot of back and forth podcasts, and I meet with people all day long, every single day of the week. And incredible, fabulous people, right? But it's hard to keep all that in your head. And that's something that is lingering, right? That's going to kind of anchor him and the experience I had with him to me, to what I'm doing. And I'll shout out his name. His name is Mike O'Neill. And he's also LinkedIn. He's a LinkedIn expert. So fabulous. There's a podcast episode on him. But show me your book. I want to see your book. I want to see what is the name. Okay, so how to grasp confidence and own your power. And you got the red lipstick on. Amazing.
That's
So
right.
that's your signature. That's part of your, that's going to connect you. Oh yeah, that's definitely her. She's got the red lipstick on. Right. So I love that you utilize your creation in that way, right? Whether it's a book or a mouse pad, whatever it might be, it's an anchor. And when it comes
Yeah.
to events, there are a lot of top event organizers out there who encourage that you send a gift ahead of the event, because then it's like, oh yeah, I signed up for that thing. Wow, okay, I guess I better go. Right? There is something to be said about snail mail and getting something tangible in your hands in this
Yeah.
digital age, where even from our grandmother we're getting, I don't know, a digital gift card. And there's nothing ever really that you could put into your hand. So I love that you do that. I'm going to look up your book. It looks like something I can really sink my teeth into. But what I'm hearing from you is the three kind of power steps to fill an event. And I love you that you do these virtual events every single month. That's fabulous. Is LinkedIn Navigator. Ah, maybe in a moment you can give us some tips on like the best case uses of LinkedIn Navigator, because once you get that filtered down, do you DM? Do you just target them for posts? Like, I'd like to hear from you on that. It sounded like for the second one, you were kind of saying referrals, like building those relationships and kind of gaining that reciprocity piece in the referrals, and
Hmm.
then sending that memorable gift. If I'm saying those things right, I think those are fabulous. Do you want to talk to those at all any more than that?
Yeah, absolutely. It starts with that foundation of building your brand, a brand that people know, like, and trust, right? And you do this with enough volume and consistency over time. It's up to you to be consistent, right? Only you can be consistent. So build a brand that people know, like, and trust so that your top of mind awareness, this is a marketing term. Top of mind awareness. Why is that important? I do want to hit on that really quick, because at any point in time, no matter what business you're in, no matter what you're selling, about 80-85% of your target audience is not ready to buy. They're not, right? But the point of being top of mind awareness is so that when they are ready to buy, that you are at the top of mind for them and you are the choice.
Mm-hmm.
So but you don't start top of mind awareness without building a brand. The brand is your foundation. The brand is your foundation. Then from there, it goes into expansion. And then from there, it goes into those relationship buildings. And those expansion and relationship buildings happen simultaneously. But you're building a brand that people know, like, and trust, built on a reputation. And then you're expanding it through marketing. And then you're enriching it and enhancing it through the relationships that you're building based off of that consistency that we talked about at first. And the reason I'm so passionate about the word consistency is because we know that it's underutilized asset. But it's also possible that anyone can do it. You don't have to gain intelligence points. You don't have to go to school, right? This is something that's tangible for everyone. Block out your calendar right now. I don't care who's listening. We all could use it. Block out this calendar and make these things a priority, because when you actually put pen to paper and say, you know what, this is a priority for me every day that ends in Y, you're going to be a lot more confident and comfortable in your messaging, so that when you do start getting attention from these organizers and these decision makers that we're talking about, that you are so confident and compelling that they feel, again, compelled to hire you and feel that that risk of hiring you is not a liability, but they actually feel as if they're getting something tangible with quality.
Mm,
And that is so powerful. And what I'm talking about is not a sprint. This is nothing that happens very quickly. But the more consistent we are over time, it builds on itself. And it's that compound effect, just like you would have compound interest of money in the bank. Every single day you're contributing to your brand building and your reputation, you're putting in money in your piggy bank for your future.
mm. Putting in money in your piggy bank for the future. Okay, a lot of uh, really next level strategies there that you
Yeah.
just shared that are vital. If you're going to really scale as a speaker, as a professional in your space, and have the longevity as well. I I love that you talked about consistency is an underutilized asset because what I see so often is things are going great, right? You've got that momentum, you've got that compound effect going. You're like, I can relax a little bit. And yeah, you can, and things are going to still go along well until 3 months down the road or 6 months down the road. All of a sudden, you don't have any bookings. You're like, what's going on? Why don't I have any? It's because 3 months ago you 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 pulled back from that consistency piece, right?
Yeah.
It is a compound effect, and you will feel it if you pull off of the. If you want to stop being consistent, do it only because you know you want less business, you want less engagements, fewer engagements, because that is going to be the result. You might not feel it this month, next month, but you will feel it the month after or so. So I
Can I
love that
can
you
I
said that.
share can I share a simple math problem?
Absolutely. Yes.
So it doesn't matter what your offer is. Let's just say that you're speaking for $5,000, although I want you to speak for more, right? If you're an expert and you're listening to this, you should not speak for $5,000, but we're just going to say $5,000 for the sake of argument and because it's easy math. If you present your offer every single day for 365 days, that's a year, you're not going to get all of the opportunities that come to you because, like we said, about 80% of your target audience is not ready to buy, right? So let's say, though, that you do present your offer every single day for 365 and 20%, which is average, industry average, say yes. That's going to lead you to 73 bookings.
Mm.
73 is way more than you and I could probably do in a year and save our sanity. But guess what that else leads you? If it's $5,000, easy math, you just made $365,000. That's $1,000 a day. Now the cool thing about this is that the longer you do this, the more confident you become. The stronger your messaging becomes, the better position you are, the more referrals you start getting in. All of a sudden, you're still putting out your offer every single day for a year, but because you're getting more confident, you can actually start asking for more, right? And your close rate becomes higher because you're more confident and consistent. So you can very easily go to multiple six figures a year if you take the reins on your consistency.
Oh, love that. Oh gosh. And you're singing my song, right? Because my agency has shifted in 2024 from do it all for you to putting speakers in the driver's seat for themselves for that reason, right? There's no silver bullet. You need to be able to take control of your own career. We do 80% of the work, but that 20% that you do, it's best if you do it. It's best if you do it, right? And it really aligns with what you're saying. So fabulous. And when I say you, it's you or your assistant, right? But in-house, right? It's just stronger
Right.
that way. And you're never at the mercy of, is my agent being consistent, right? Is that other person being consistent for me? So fabulous. I know at this point there are plenty within the audience wanting to know, how do I get a hold of Tara Lafon Gooch? Did I say that
Yes.
right?
Yeah, perfect. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on a lot of social media platforms. Feel free to connect with me, Tara Lafon Gooch. And then, of course, there's my website, terralafongooch.com. And if you want to learn more about my branding and marketing agency, it's bestbranding.solutions. Very simple.
Fabulous. And those who are just on audio and you can't get to the description, so Tara, Tara,
Hmm.
Lafon. I said Lafon. It's Lafon.
That's all right.
And it's exactly how it sounds. Lafon. I
Yep.
started out saying it right. I messed it up. Lafon. And then Gooch, kind of like, no, it's not like Gucci. It is not like Gucci. It's
I wish.
G
Yeah. I'd have
O
a lot
O.
more money.
Yeah, I have some family money going on in there. Uh,
All right.
Gooch. So Tara Lafon Gooch. And I have a feeling there's not going to be very many other people with that name. So she's easy to find. You have brought such fabulous insights to this platform. Tara, thank you so much. As we're winding down, I would love to ask you our signature question. And that is something very tactical that our incredible SpeakPact audience can take with them and actually begin putting into action, putting into practice. Um, Together, we are corporately, right, making a pact to make our biggest impact that we can in this world. What is maybe one tactical thing that an emerging voice, an emerging speaker can do to really establish themselves as that no-brainer expert, right? That sure shot expert to that will elevate them amidst the competition because there's a lot of competition out there.
There's a lot of things, but two things I will say today. Number one, get your marketing materials really, really dialed in, folks,
Hmm.
okay? Because you're building brand equity with them. The marketing materials that you're going to send out to, again, strangers, meeting planners, event organizers, corporate folks, that is their very first impression of you. The human brain, like it or not, first impressions are formed in less than about 5 seconds,
Hmm.
right? We have 5 seconds to capture attention and build trust. That is not something you want to guess on. So, that is number one. I would say do not DIY your brand if you're not a designer, if you have no idea, right? If you're an expert at speaking or writing books or philosophy, then stick with that. Hire and outsource things that you're simply not good at, right? Because we only have those first 5 impressions or 5 second impressions. Number two is getting really clear on your defining story.
Mm.
And this story, because even if, somebody loves our brand, loves our messaging, they're going to ask about why are you different, right? Because we know, an infinite amount almost of leadership speakers out there. What makes you different? And it's that defining story. So I use a super, super simple formula that anybody can steal right now. I encourage you to do this. Your defining moment story template is 4 simple questions. 4 simple things. Where are you at right now? List all those really amazing things about yourself. Brag a little bit, right? Your accomplishments. You've maybe published books, you've been in the press, you're a mom, you're a successful business owner, you're doing all these amazing things. Wow, I'm so impressed, right? But was it always this way? Take us back to a time when things looked a little different. Number three, was there a catalyst? Was there a change? Was there a transformational point, right? What was that? What did that look like? And then four, but all this made you who you are today. It made you what? Made you a better coach, a better mom, a better mentor, a better advisor, a better speaker, a writer. This is why people buy you.
Mm.
They buy you because of the transformation you underwent yourself and the lessons you can teach someone else to help them going through that same thing right now. So don't be afraid to share your story. Just do it in a structured way that makes sense for that audience. And, as you're speaking to different audiences, it's the same story, but you modify it. You wouldn't have the same story to a corporate audience as you would to an audience of entrepreneurs or an audience of physicians. So know your audience, know your story, get really comfortable telling it, and then make sure your first impressions with somebody else are a good one.
Mm, strong finish. Strong finish. Okay, these are two powerhouse pieces that you're leaving us with. Number one, and they really kind of relate to each other, right? That whole connection and community piece. We have 5 seconds to capture attention and build trust. If you're not trusted, you're not right, you're not going anywhere. So capture attention, build trust. To do that, a lot of times it's in your story as well. So either way, right? Have that brand continuity and the strength of brand, but also that connection happens through the storytelling. I love the framework that you gave us. Any of us can do this. We're like, I'm not a great storyteller. I just, you know, um, it's about the audience, not about you and your story. It's about the audience. So which of your story is going to connect with them? This is what I got out of your framework. Where are you right now? Right, the beautiful picture of who you are right now. Where were you before you got to that beautiful picture? Because
Yep.
we've all been, so we can relate to that, right? What was that transformational moment, that catalyst that took you from where you were to where you are and made you who you are today, that fourth piece. So I can find hope in your story that, wow, she went through all of that and I've just got this thing that I think is holding me back and it's really not. I can do it too. So fabulous. Thank you, Tara. So much goodness there.
You're so welcome. I'm happy to do it.
All right. So definitely look Tara up and seek her out. She is brilliant when it comes to positioning you, branding you, helping you get a marketing strategy, right? For, yes, your speaking career, and then whatever services that you might offer alongside that. So look her up. A way that you can thank us for today is give us the likes, the love, all the things, so that more people can find this incredible body of information. So for now, we're going to thank you, our sweet SpeakPact audience, for being with us. Ciao, ciao.